like this is what your life like. Try to live your life right. People really know you push your buttons like.
All right, everyone. All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Dink or Swim. My name is Cesar.
My name is Huey.
My name is Huey with me
Yeah.
today, and we are going to do something a little different. We're going to spend some time and get to know Mr. Huey himself. So let's start it off. Who are you and where are you from?
Who am I? So, man, I'm a lot.
You're a lot.
So let's start with like background of where I lived, right? So I was born in Los Gatos, raised in Evergreen, and then for a moment I lived in Westminster.
Like L.A.?
Yeah, LA,
Oh,
where all
okay.
the Asians are at, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we went to Mariloma, and then after that came back to SJ. My mom, she's going to college in Fullerton,
Mm-hmm.
so she wanted to bring me over there, and then I had that opportunity to like explore, you know, meet new people and new environments. And then hometown, I would say definitely it would be here,
Okay.
San Jose.
So what time frame were you over there in?
I was in SoCal from, I would say, 3rd grade to 7th grade.
Okay, so like
Yeah,
elementary to middle school, something
Yeah.
like that.
yeah.
Okay, what do you think is like the big difference, I guess? Like the rivalry, Bay Area versus SoCal. Like, is there any big difference? Is there not?
I think as a kid, I didn't even notice.
Mm.
I was too focused in like school and
Yeah.
like the people, and I can't really like now. I can say that like there's like a difference in environment and everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of traffic in SoCal, it's so bad, right? And NorCal feels like home. Like I feel like I've grown here, and from the beginning and till like the present, I know like the streets from the back of my hand, all the spots.
So were you always in? So you were in Los Gatos, which is, where is that? That's like kind of past Campbell, right? Like towards Santa Cruz, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like right before it.
That's where you grew up.
No, it was where I was born.
Oh, you were born in Los
Yeah.
Gatos.
I
Okay.
was raised in Evergreen.
Oh, okay. So like South San Jose or like East Side, I guess.
East side.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And then you went to LA, and then you came back.
Mm-hmm.
Same area or a different area?
Different area. So Evergreen was with my grandma,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I came back, we lived in downtown San Jose,
Oh.
and then I was going to school in first Piedmont, and then Independence, and I was using my uncle's address.
Uh-huh.
So I was always taking like the VTA from downtown, and I was in middle school. I was really young.
You were taking the VTA in middle school.
Yeah.
Like by
And then-
yourself.
Yeah, and then it moved toward biking. So
From downtown to Piedmont. Piedmont's like, that's like near Milpitas, right? Kind of, sort of.
that's like North San Jose, like
Yeah.
near like I would say Hofstadter, Mayberry.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So like kind of.
White Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of far.
It was. It
Yeah.
was. I was waking up really early. Sometimes it would be really dark, and then heading back. There was like this one time that I slept on the VTA, and I missed the stop. And I was like really far from home.
Yeah.
How to go backwards?
I hate that.
Yeah.
I've had that experience too. I used to live in Milpitas, and when I went to San Jose State, I would take the VTA back home
Mhm.
every day, and I used to work on campus at the time, so I wouldn't get off till like 9 o'clock. So I'd take the VTA pretty late. And there was one time I fell asleep, and I ended on the last stop in Mountain View, and it took me like another 45 minutes to get home, which is crazy, but I've definitely had that experience.
Yeah.
But okay, so Bay Area is home for you.
Yeah, it's home now.
Have you ever considered going anywhere else, or is there anywhere else you want to go?
I would say at this point, my first time out of the country was recently in November.
Okay.
I traveled. Right.
Where'd you go?
I went to 5 different cities. So I went to Vietnam, went to Singapore, Bangkok, and then a layover in Korea. First time, and it's kind of crazy. Like when I had the opportunity when I was younger, I would always say no to my mom, and now I would always take it
Yeah.
because you learn so much from traveling. You see everything differently, how business is run, how everything is organized. The food is different too. So being open-minded.
I feel like how society is also operating is way different everywhere else too, and I think that's something that is somewhat of a culture shock. Was there anything in particular culturally in those places that it was just like way different?
The roads.
The roads?
The roads, like especially like Vietnam, like there's so many people on mopeds.
Yeah.
And
Oh
like
yeah.
how
yeah.
things work. It's like a flow.
But it's almost like, I mean, I've only seen YouTube videos of it or like vloggers or whatnot. It's almost like a controlled chaos. Like there's
a system.
there's a system, but there's also like not a system, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, does that kind of align
I
with?
think the community creates a system.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. Like you don't need the government. The community will do it itself. It'll
That
build itself.
that kind of reminds me of Japan. So wherever you go to Japan, everything is in order. And I mean, Tokyo, for example, is the most populated city in the world. I don't remember the exact population. I think it's like 14 million people in Tokyo alone. Just for reference, San Francisco has like 3 million. I think New York has like 6, if I'm correct. I don't remember the exact numbers. Don't quote me.
Yeah.
But I think it's something along those lines. But Tokyo has double the amount of people, triple the amount of people.
Yeah.
And yet it's the cleanest place ever.
Yeah.
Food's amazing. And there's so much structure everywhere you go, right? The busy, and you've seen those videos where they're trying to close a subway and like someone's suitcase is like sticking out and you have to push them in, right? You've seen those videos, and you've seen like the Shibuya crossing where there's like a bajillion people.
The Tokyo drift scene.
Yeah.
Where everyone's like going
Yeah.
like that and like
You see the crowd like just kind of slide over, right?
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's freaking real. And you go to those subway systems and it's packed, but when you go up the stairs or up the escalators, on one side is the people that are standing still. So on the right side, everyone's standing still on the escalator. So that gives room for the left side. So one tiny escalator, right? I'm not talking about like a gigantic, like there's 3 escalators, one escalator. On the right side of the escalator, there's people standing still, all uniform in a line, which opens up the left side for the people that are busy and need to go and are running up. And it's like, it's automatic. They don't need to say anything. It just happens,
yeah,
right?
People are more considerate.
They're more considerate, and they have systems, like unspoken systems, so to speak. So I'm imagining that moped Vietnam motorcycle to have some kind of similar system, right? Where it's like, it's there, but it's also like an unspoken truth kind of thing, right? Okay. Was there anything like food-wise that was just way better in those places?
I would say like like back then, like my mindset, I was very closed off to trying new foods.
Yeah.
Like lately, I've been trying everything. Like I was trying like food stalls, seafood. Like I would say like, oh, I don't like it, right?
Instantly.
In my mind.
In your mind,
Instantly.
without even trying it.
Yeah, and then after a while, it's just like I just gotta try it. Just try it once, and then understand it. Close my eyes, develop the taste, right? With the nose and everything. Like started liking food, enjoying it, chewing it.
Just trying.
Being considerate with the food. Yeah.
Being considerate. Do you feel like it was like out of a respect thing, or were you just like genuinely curious about?
I think it's both.
Both, a little bit of both. Okay.
Both.
Well, I'm glad you're able to experience that, but it sounds like even though you've experienced all those things, the Bay Area is still home for you.
Yeah, so.
Like that's where you want to be, right?
Yeah. I would say the reason why is because like I built I found a community, right? I found people. I found my connections
Mm-hmm.
to grow,
Mm-hmm.
right? I find that, like, home is home.
Yeah.
All these places, you can live in those places,
Right.
or like travel to
Travel
these
to.
places
Yep.
and experience it. It's the people that brings you back to home.
Home is where the people is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of home, so you're here, you're in San Jose, you're part of a community, right? We're linked together through pickleball. How did you start? What's your background? Like, where did you have a racket sports background?
Let's start with from the beginning with like racket sports. I had the opportunity from my mom. She was a single mom. I didn't know my father for a while. I met him when I was 26, actually, so it's pretty recent. And my mom, she did what she could. She offered me a lot of things to do, let me snowboard, and then she taught me a lot of sports. So it was like a gateway. And that led up to showing her passions to me, which was swimming and tennis. She loved those sports. So she tried to, you know, nudge me into toward those directions. So that's where I got like the tennis hand-eye coordination.
Mhm.
I wasn't really good. We were just hitting the ball around.
Yeah.
I
How old
didn't-
were you when you started that?
Probably like 7.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was always hitting out or like hitting the net.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I don't really like this. Like I just it didn't really stick.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like my uncle, he taught me like ping pong a little bit. And then I was like, I didn't really like it either. And then in high school, my friend and I, we were part of cross country.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like freshmen. I loved to run, and then started like training, and then we heard like the badminton team at Independence, right here, right. We heard their conditioning was really hard. So we're like,
Really?
yeah.
So that's kind of like what got you into it. You're like, oh, they're cream of the crop conditioning type thing.
Yeah. So we did the conditioning, and honestly, it changed my world. Like badminton. My friend, he didn't pick up with it, and then I stuck with it all 4 years. And just something about like, finding your passion.
Yeah.
You just forget like everything in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to grow and get better, train, and like develop yourself in every way. And I was really addicted. Same way as I am with pickleball. I loved the sport. I loved the people. I was the captain. I got CCS.
You were the captain.
Yeah, I was the captain for senior year, and then CCS.
So if you get bageled by Huey, it's all good. All right. Here's why.
Yeah.
All right. So you're the captain. You played all 4 years. Did you play after that?
Yeah, I did. So I played in college, and then I played tournaments. I actually worked at a facility. It's right off of Montague.
Montague. Okay.
Yeah. So Milpitas, it was named BBC. Not that BBC.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Bay Badminton Center.
Okay.
So
Is it still there?
it's still there.
Okay. Do you ever go back there like once in a while just to visit?
No, not since pickleball. Pickleball has changed my world and perspective. And like back in high school when I was playing, my teacher and coach and my mom both told me that I have no future with this. And that's like really crushing. That was like my passion. And to hear that from the people that, like you see at like, like at a higher level, like it kind of like crushed me for a little bit. And if there's a will, there's a way. You don't have to be the best player. There's so many ways to help out the community.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to do now for pickleball.
Yeah.
And it's given me like a purpose, service, the acts of service. And like there's so many ways to, make money, find work, market, right? So like before this, I was not big into like, cameras or editing or anything like that. So my fiance, Mary, she actually inspired me. She showed me
Shout out, Mary.
yeah, a different light to cameras,
Yeah.
documenting. You can learn so much, and I think I was just trying to hide behind the camera, and I didn't have the confidence. And then when I started committing myself and learning more about how pickleball is changing for me and committing to the things I love, what I'm good at, what I can help the community, and what I can monetize,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ikigai.
Yeah,
Ikigai.
I like that.
Yeah. So, pickleball's life.
I love that. I love that you found. It sounds like that's something you were trying to do with badminton,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it just wasn't the right time,
Yeah.
or maybe it just wasn't. You weren't in the right place,
Yeah. I was not.
and you weren't like ready for that.
Yeah.
I almost want to call it. I don't want to call it responsibility, but it is a responsibility, right? A responsibility for yourself, to yourself, and a responsibility to those you serve.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're ready for it.
Yeah.
But
I think all the steps
yeah.
that has taken me here today
Mm-hmm.
has taught me so much
Yeah.
as a person. It built my character. It built me as how I would want to lead.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a big thing for me with bosses and managers. I was working under a lot of bosses. They don't lead by example, or they don't know how to deliver, right? And it's, in order to inspire, you have to be the person to lead,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why I took the step. I, like you said, I think I was in a void. I was in limbo. I was putting myself in situations that I did not enjoy at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was insanity,
Yeah.
putting myself through this repetition of working in tech, cuz like similar to like what David said, like Asian families in general, they give you a path,
Yeah.
right? So I think their way of like how they approach parenting is teaching, right? So teaching, you tell people what to do, and then after that they'll come back, right? Whereas coaching, you give them the questions, then they will understand how to do it again and figure it out. And so I was following other people's dreams. I was doing college. I was doing a job that I didn't enjoy. And it kind of like dug at me. I was being pulled between like positive and my negative. And then I started like getting very depressed. I didn't want to wake up certain days. I was always sleeping, and I was trying to escape.
Yeah.
And until I took the action, that's when things were starting. Things were rolling. And I think pickleball was one way that it got me out, because I hated where I was working. I honestly, I appreciate it, and I love all the learning lessons. It's just when people don't listen to you and like let you speak your voice, it's just it hurts, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And I was not growing in my environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit my tech job, and then I started trying new things, and it was honestly pretty funny, cuz like I was playing pickleball morning and night, and then I'm like, does this feel like retirement? Like I was with all these like it's kind of crazy. I was like learning so much about people. I was being open with people again. Like just learning their names, shaking their hands, like human touch.
Human
It
interaction.
interaction. It
Yeah.
was because I was working from home.
Yeah.
I was in my box with Katsu,
Yeah.
right? I
Shout out Katsu.
yeah, Katsu was there for me. So yeah, it's a crazy thing what pickleball does to you. Like it doesn't even matter about like what pickleball is. It's just finding what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why do you think pickleball was able to open that up for you?
I think
I mean, obviously there's that element, right, where you are meeting new people and you're playing with people. How is that different than meeting new people playing badminton, for example?
mhm. When I was playing badminton, a lot of the people we don't introduce our names. There's a lot of assumptions. I think in pickleball, like the communities are different. There's so many different diversities, and people are very transparent,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you make assumptions, you know that saying, you make an ass between you and me.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is super competitive. I really there's good competition and there's bad, right?
Right.
To the point that like it just ego,
Yeah.
right? And I'm learning the virtues through pickleball, patience, right? That's one of the big ones. And like it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just even that simple act of introduction and I mean, I guess for me too, it's almost like every game you play, everyone's happy to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really had an experience where someone looked miserable, like, oh, I'm gonna play a game with you. It's like not really like that. Everyone's usually happy
Yeah.
and ready to go, and I feel like it invites that human interaction, and it invites the
Collaboration.
collaboration
Yeah.
and talking outside of the match,
Yeah.
and you know,
It's more than a game.
yeah, it's just more than a game, and there's
Yeah.
just like a natural flow to that conversation that I just don't think happens anywhere else
Mm-hmm.
in sports, at least, right?
Yeah.
And or at least not to that level that it happens here,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen and what I've experienced. And so I'm glad you're kind of seeing the same thing, and I'm glad you found your purpose and kind of how you want to attack your life with this. And same thing with you. It's a very brave thing to do, to just to leave security, right? To leave a
Comfortability.
comfortability, a 9 to 5, in the tech industry, in the Bay Area. Like, people move here for that, right? It's why our houses are so expensive out here. And to leave all that is tough and brave. And I'm sure it took you like a really strong look in the mirror to think and reflect and understand your purpose and what's really going to make you happy. Because no matter how much money you make, or what you buy, or what car you drive, or what fancy watch you're wearing, right? That's all temporary.
Yeah.
It's all temporary.
It's the people that remember you.
But and the people it's the people, the experiences, the things that get seared into your memory, into your brain, and the one thing that you can never get back is time. Right? You can never get back time. And so if you're spending your time working a 9 to 5 that is not fulfilling you and not making you happy, or making others happy, at the very minimum making others happy, right? Then change your situation. Right? If you're okay with that, again, no disrespect to 9 to 5. We need that in our country. We need that everywhere. Shout out to everyone that's working hard. I'm doing a 9 to 5. Shout out to me. I'm working hard. But take a look. And if you're not happy, like change it. Change yourself, because you only have one life to live, and it's your life, not your parents' life, not United States of America life, not, society's life. It's your life to live. Live it the way you want to. As long as you're not hurting anyone, don't hurt anyone, right? Don't do any damage to the world. Do good. Do good for the world. And that's how you'll find fulfillment. And again, easier said than done. Shout out to you for doing that.
Thank you.
So I wanted to wrap this up and ask you one last question. What do you have going on? I know we kind of talked about it in our first episode, but what's Happy Dinker about? What do you have going on? What's some upcoming events and projects you're working on?
Okay, let me start with like where Happy Dinker came from and why I'm doing it and who I'm doing it with. So Happy Dinker, it was before my Instagram. I changed multiple personas, right? So I went from HD trend to HD training, because I was going through like a fitness content during COVID. It's also one of my hobbies that I love to do on top of like running. Something about just like growing yourself and internally. When you work on your body, it's a reflection of like everything else, right? And I find the progressive overload, like every day one step, try to like improve it, right? So I love doing that. And then the transition after HD training, it did not go well because I was conflicted between my past life and what I liked, right? I had poor coping mechanisms. It's honestly, I'm not blaming the products you do. It's honestly me, accountability. So I was putting myself in those situations, and I needed to recreate or destroy my old behaviors to be a better person, right? So escaping was a big thing for me. Depression, mental health. So that's going to lead up to why I'm doing like Happy Dinker. So we went from HD training, right, back to HD trend, and then HD pickleball. So I was on a journey with pickleball. I found like a safe space. I was growing. I was pursuing to be a better player. That didn't satisfy me at all. Being a good player doesn't do much. It does do like well for you and only you, right? I wanted to do more. I wanted to be a leader of the industry, the community, someone that helps people, right? So I moved on away from HD pickleball. I was creating like motivational content. I wanted to share words of wisdom, right, from like motivational speakers that I listen to, like Alex Hormonzi, Luke Belmar, Andrew Tate. I was always on their algorithm. It's like, whatever your algorithm is, what you're like interested, right? So I was going through that, and then I was like, okay, need to change the name. So I took the HD and I broke it out. It was between three names.
Oh, shoot. You got the inside scoop right here.
So there, actually, my friend Chris, he helped me choose it. So there was High Dreams.
Okay.
Because that's what we should all strive for. And then Humble Dinkers.
Okay.
And then Happy Dinkers. And High Dreams didn't really relate too much about pickleball. Humble Dinkers, like let's say if I'm not perceived as humble and I know I might have an RBF when I play, it's not what I'm like. I'm just like really focused.
Yeah.
It's just my face, you know? Like I don't mean to like have this persona.
That's funny you say that, because sometimes my fiance be getting all angry when I'm playing with her, and she'll be like, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "I'm just locked in.
Yeah.
I'm just in the zone. I'll be quiet. I'm just focused, right?"
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mean to be mean. You know, I'm locked in.
Yeah. And then so moved to HappyDinker.
Yeah.
So HappyDinker is a play on with two words: happy, the pursuit of happiness and growth, and Dinker is Dinker as dinking shot, right? We're dinkers, right? And then also dinking as dinking glass, right? Coming together, right? So it's more community based. Try to create a brand, and then like there was a moment where I was doing this alone, right? And you can't run a business on your own. You can't do. It's gonna be so much work, and then like I want to do fitness. I want to hang out with like my family, my dog, my fiance, my friends, and then like it was just too overwhelming
Yeah.
being an entrepreneur, and then like being uncomfortable with no money, right? I started learning that money is just a construct, right? If you start doing things to another reason why I quit tech is your salary cap. That's all you're gonna make, right? For that year. So I wanted to learn how to scale, and how do you scale with people, with a team. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? So I found like my equals, right? I found David, found JT, and then I started opening a lot more up to the Hub Gang, our friends. And before that, I was just trying to be a better player and just like in my corner drilling, right? Something about interacting with people, it opened me up. It showed me possibilities. And we all have strengths. So, like, HappyDinker is, we're trying to create something. And I always want to say we, right? Because, like, you know, being dependent, it's not good, right? You're relying. You're not, like, you know, putting your back into it. Independent, you're just thinking about me, right? So, in order to think as a team, we have to think about interdependence, which is we. And we as a team, we can create a lot. And we're trying to fight mental health. We're trying to live the ikigai life. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Trying to accomplish a lot with what's available to us and what binds us, right? And I think, you know, the message that HappyDinker portrays, there's just so many different elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, obviously there's the sport element to it, the game, getting better, but just living a positive life and celebrating with others, right? And it's funny that you talk about pursuit of happiness. I was like listening to a podcast, and apparently when they say the pursuit of happiness in the Constitution, because that's where it comes from, right? The Constitution. Their definition of happiness is not like emotional happiness. It's being successful and fighting through your success and finding a way to become successful, right? And so for you, happy pursuit of happiness, right? HappyDinker, it's almost like that's a perfect way to make that correlation. Because yes, we want to be emotionally happy and celebrate mental awareness, right? But we also want to celebrate success and driving towards the path of success, whatever that success is, right? Success means different things to different people, but just knowing that everyone listening, everyone out there is capable of being successful. We just have to find a way to do it, right? And I feel like that message is like, it's perfect for what you're doing. So you guys have that. I think you're doing something, right? David and JT kind of brought it up on Sunday. What's that about?
We're having a launch party, and it's a way for us to all network and experience, and also have fun. You know, so like we're gonna have like a lot of services too. So one, food brings people together, right? Music, it's a universal language. So we're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna have 2 DJs actually.
2.
Shout out to DJ Ryler and Francis on site. Those are my homies from high school.
Hey.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a on-site chiropractor he's gonna do consulting, and I met him honestly through Instagram, and then we just clicked, and I've been going to him, and he's been helping me out through my pickleball journey as well, and we always try to find ways to like help each other.
Yeah, and I love that, and we'll end it with this. I love that you're extending the community to those that also aren't even playing pickleball, because that's what it's about, right? It's about opening your arms and embracing the community as a whole. Obviously, we want to encourage people to join us and play for all the benefits, right? The community, health, perseverance, right? Commitment, whatever the case may be, right? But if you don't, that's cool. We could all vibe. We could all do our thing and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah.
And dink some glasses together.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe some balls. Depends.
We're actually gonna have a pickleball court too.
Oh.
Shout out to Austin. He's gonna give us the quiet ball, and then like when people see people play, they're like, "Ooh,
what is that?
This is very interesting."
Ooh,
like,
how do I get a part of that?
Yeah. So like, it's like planting seeds.
Yeah.
You know, like give them the thought, give them
Yeah.
the ideas. Like, oh, like okay, he looks like he's having fun.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're having fun, right?
Yeah.
So they might join.
Love it.
And then that's how we grow the community.
Yeah. So it's all about the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Cool. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Dink or Swim. Again, my name is Cesar.
My name is Huey.
Have a good day, y'all. Peace.
Deuces.